Dom, bringer of riffs and shredding guitarist for Suffer the Avenue. Congratulations on the debut full-length Persuaders album. It's a ripper listen, mate. And thanks for making some time to have a chat with myself and Crannk. I really appreciate it, buddy.
Anytime, mate. Anytime.
First off, man, I've seen you guys quite a few times, but who is Suffer the Avenue?
We're a four-piece band out of Pirie. We're, I guess, a bit groovier than the metal that comes about these days. We don't really sort of pigeonhole ourselves in a genre. We just sort of do what we like to do, and then hopefully people like to do it as well, or listen to it. We got Josh on vocals, absolute mad vocalist. Jay Palaskis on drums, and pretty much the organiser of the whole band. And DT on bass.
Oh, fuck.
Absolute beast on the bass.
Yeah, man, and he's put on a fucking ripper show, man. What I'm keen to know, dude, is where'd the name come from?
Well, it's it's a nothing name, really.
Yeah.
It was a list of names that we had to pick from, and the word Evenue is a made-up word. It means literally nothing.
Yep.
You could Google it and shit will come up. But we just had this whole list of names to pick through that our drummer organised, because, as I said, he's the organiser. And yeah, that was the one that sort of grabbed us the best. It made sense, but it didn't make sense, sort of thing.
Yep. I first come across you guys with the Super High shows, the Raise Hell, I think it was, a few years ago. Yep. When they put on a thing to get local bands in each city they were playing at.
Yeah.
That was actually a really cool initiative, because I was a big fan of Super Heist, and I seen they were coming back, and then I seen you guys and Terminal Zero and a few other bands do it kind of with all your promo to try and get that show. Yep. I thought that was a really cool initiative, and that got your name out a lot more.
Yeah, absolutely. As stressful as those few months were in the lead up to it, doing all the competition stuff and all that sort of stuff, don't get me wrong, I'd probably never do that again. That was so stressful. But for us, it consumed us for weeks. We were just that excited to try and get on the bill that, we just sort of head down, bum up, and did all this promo stuff, and ended up all three of us getting on the bill, which was wicked because everyone did put in a massive effort. And it was a great show.
And you all fucking ripped it, eh? You really did rip it, man. I was sold straight away, dude. I was rocking out. I was there as a fan, and I ripped out all the bands that night. It was a fucking killer night, eh?
Yeah, wicked, man. Yeah, it was sort of, we were a bit starstruck. Obviously, we grew up listening to Super Heist. We loved them. And then to share a stage with them was just absolutely unbelievable.
And a cool bunch of dudes as well.
Yeah.
When and how did you first get into playing guitar, Dom?
I've always sort of dabbled in it. Like my grandfather, he's played his whole life, and I've always been interested, but sort of knocked around with a couple of lads at high school that were already musicians, and it just sort of gave us something to do, because they were already jamming, and you're hanging around the sort of Pirie scene that we had here, so you might as well pick up something and have a dabble in it.
Also give you something to do as well, besides those sitting around in those regional areas without much else to do. It would have given you some focus, having that music behind you.
Yeah, it's probably kept me out of a lot of trouble over the years, because I've always been locked in a room with a guitar instead of out running amok.
And I suppose when you were heading out, you'd go down to shows or something, and you're more excited about catching some live music as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. What was
go?
Yeah, what was the first guitar you got, Dom?
Oh, It was an absolute piece of junk. I think it was a nothing brand. It was an Odessa. But the first one, it was one of those shitty Strat copy combos with the little 10-watt amp. And I think, my parents bought it for me for Christmas, and it was if you stick it out, we'll see how it goes sort of thing. But I think my first one I bought myself was Ibanez 7-string, because it was like I was in high school early, probably about 98, 99, right in the new metal sort of height of that. So everyone had to have 7 strings. So that was the first one I got for myself.
Oh, nice. What guitars are you using at the moment, Dom?
I stick pretty much strictly to a Dime Signature Washburn. I've got a spare Ibanez that sits in the back if anything sort of breaks down on the night, but I sort of go for my Dime Signature. I've just purchased a Dean one, so I'll probably start transitioning to that soon. But yeah, Dimebag's probably my single biggest influence on guitar. Not that our playing sort of emulates it, but more so just his attitude as a person.
And that's probably going to answer my next question. As a guitarist, who are some of the people that you feel has inspired and influenced you?
Number one, Dimebag.
Yep.
Number two, probably Steve Holt from 36 Crazy Fists.
Oh, yeah.
I have a lot of respect for guitarists that engineer the band sound as well, like your DWs and stuff from Super Heist. Probably Ollie Herbert and Mike Martin from All That Remains.
Yeah, nice.
Seeing them live a couple of weeks ago was obviously Ollie Herbert's passed away now, but All That Remains live was just absolutely chaotic. It was amazing. But they're probably my biggest influences, I reckon.
Yeah, and 36 Crazy Fists was a great show. I actually moshed out with you for a little bit in the pit.
Yeah, yeah, man. Yeah. It's like being a teenager again.
Yeah, it does, man. I just love going to live shows. I don't really drink anymore, man. I just love the music and just rocking out, and I just
let your hair down. Take it all in.
It was unreal to catch 36 Crazy Fists live. That's the first time I've caught him, and it was unreal that Super Heist was able to bring him out over here for that.
Oh, absolutely, man. They have been like my favourite band probably in my adult years.
Yeah,
so many years just pumping out their tunes, like crazy good.
Oh, it was choice. I ended up putting the camera down at one point. I'm like, I can't take photos in the middle of this mosh pit. I'm just going to join him. So I put the camera down and started rocking out as well. It was unreal.
Absolutely, man. I might have even jumped up and stolen Steve Holt pick straight out of the pick holder on the mic stand.
Awesome. Scarred for Life is the first official single you're going to release for Persuaders, and you've got the film clip coming out October 13th, I believe. Can you tell me a little bit about what this track means to you?
Oh, it was one that sort of came together really well. Like, it started with a riff that just... It is when you're writing, sometimes stuff just, falls together and you don't have to force anything. This was one of those songs, and I think we all enjoy playing it live. It's got lots of different sort of feels through the whole song. Like, there's fast parts and slow parts and sort of catchy bits and your group vocals and stuff like that. So it sort of captures a bit of everything that we like, and then we thought it was an obvious choice for the first clip just because of the variety in the song itself. Yep.
Yeah, I do. It's unreal. I have loved that album. I want to ask you though, about the demo EP and the Persuaders album, the Walking Alone, Beyond Worthless, Face of Reason, The Truth Condemns and No Hope. I love the bitch and new breath of fresh air these guys, these tracks have got over them. How did you pick which tracks to bring over onto the Persuaders album?
It was more so ones that had sort of died out of our set. and ones that we felt had a lot of life left in them. So the ones that we flogged like a dead horse, we didn't really want to bring them over, like the Rain of Silence and sort of stuff like that.
Yep.
Just more so because it had served its purpose. Although it would have been good to get like a wicked recording on it, we had a heap of new songs that weren't on any demos, and we wrote the song Persuaders strictly for the album, so there'd be something new that we hadn't done live or hadn't sort of unleashed at all yet.
Yep.
So
exactly, maybe a bonus track for another album down in the future there, mate.
Yeah, for sure, or even B-side on a single, I don't know.
Exactly. And it'd feel good to get back in the studio, you know, and give these tracks a fresh breath of life.
Yeah, and to do it how we did it, like we didn't want to overproduce anything. Like we just no click tracks, no chopping up too much guitar. Just try and get it in a single take. Obviously, if you're doing mad stuff up, then you have to redo it. But we punched it out pretty quick, just because we wanted it to have sort of the feel of the liveness. Oh, not the feel of the liveness. A feel of the live show and the rawness that we sort of bring. We didn't want to polish it up too much, and then you get a masterpiece, but it just doesn't feel real human. Yeah,
no, it sounds good. I heard another band do the same thing, and it sounds really good, and it comes across in the recording. It does have that feel to it. Beaten to Death over in Norway, they done the same thing with their album as well. They played their tracks straight through, you know, recorded it out and busted out the same way you did, and it comes across really good in the album. And the recording and production is unreal on it. Can you tell me a little bit about where you've recorded that and who done all your recording and production?
That would be the marvellous Andy Kite Against the Grain Studios. I couldn't recommend him enough. Like, I would seriously buy studio days to not record and just go there and hang out and talk shit, because the amount of banter that was going on was just unbelievable. Like, we'd get sidetracked just bullshitting and telling jokes, and just not be putting pen on paper, or not be recording riffs or recording drums. Just great person to hang out with.
Yeah, he does some great things, over at Against the Grain Studios there.
He should be the name in metal.
Yeah,
in
definitely.
Adelaide for unopposed. He's just amazing, and he doesn't really tamper with your shit too much, but he does rein you in if you are tampering with your shit too much. So he's very good to have on board, and his ear is just unbelievable.
Unreal. Which track would you say is your favourite off the Persuaders album there, Dom, and why?
Jesus, I don't know. Probably The Truth Condemns.
Yep.
For me, it was like the second or third song we ever wrote, but I just like the way the bridge builds, and it was something we set out to write a certain way, and for me, we nailed it. It's exactly how we wanted it, and you don't always get that. You have this idea in your head sometimes, and it just doesn't, because you're trying to bring together four people's idea of one thing. Sometimes it just doesn't happen, but this is exactly the song we wanted to write at that time. So I don't know if the other boys feel the same, but definitely for me, Truth Condemns.
That's a beast song, man. You got an album launch. Suffer the Evenue have an album launch this week, and on Friday, is it the 5th?
Yep, Saturday the 5th, I think.
Saturday the 5th. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so it's at Flight Nightclub, where they've been having just a massive amount of bands lately. Great metal bands. We're playing with Weather Worn, Alien, and As I Destruct. And it sounds like we're going to get a big turnout, so hopefully she's a blaster of a night.
Yep, and if you're in Adelaide and get down to Saturday for some fucking rockin' hard metal with Suffer the Avenue, eh?
Yeah, we'll definitely try and put a show on for everyone that goes.
No worries. Dom, thanks a lot for your time, mate. I really do appreciate it.
Hey, anytime. Thank you for doing everything you do for the whole scene, man. You are a beast.
Thank you, mate.